So, a very warm welcome to everyone who's present here today. My name is Soham, and today I'm going to present to you a very simple model which I have made, and it is on an instrument which is known as a wind vane. So, we will come to that in a short while, but before moving on, please do consider subscribing. So, without further delay, let's get started. Weather instruments are the instruments that meteorologists use to study and understand weather. And these weather instruments are really important as they help meteorologists understand and study the weather patterns and also predict future weather. So, we understand that we all need weather instruments. Now, before going on further, we need to know that what really is weather. So, weather is nothing but the state of the atmosphere at a particular place at a particular time. So, there are certain factors that help us to understand and study weather. Some of these factors are temperature, air pressure, wind speed, humidity, precipitation, the type of cloud cover, etc. And there are certain instruments that help us to measure these factors, like thermometers are used to measure temperature, then barometers are used to measure air pressure, then rain gauges are used to measure the precipitation level in a place. Similarly, anemometers are used to measure wind speed. Then relative humidity is measured using hygrometers. So similarly, to understand the wind direction of means from where a wind is blowing, we use a wind vane. So what is a wind vane? A wind vane is an instrument that is used to detect the direction from which the wind is blowing or from where the wind is coming from. So it is really important. Why? Because if we don't know from where the wind is blowing, then we don't know that how a particular storm is forming. That it is used to monitor and predict weather patterns. Then it is used to monitor global climate as well, and then it is also used for understanding the rates of evaporation of a place, and also it is helpful for understanding that from where a storm is forming and how a cyclone is generating, etc. So if we don't know from where a particular wind is blowing, we will have no information about a particular storm. So that is why it is very important to have a wind vane. So this is my model of the wind vane which I have made, as you can see here. So I have made this out of really simple materials which are very recyclable. Like the head of the arrow is made up of red chart paper and the tail is also made of chart paper. Here I've used straw for the body of the arrow, and here for the stand I've used a very normal pencil, and to support the straw and the pencil, means the stand and the body, I've used a very sharp a pin or a needle, you can say. And the cup, I've used it to make a support. And at the bottom I have mentioned all the cardinal directions, like as you can see, north, south, west, east, and I've also mentioned northwest, southwest, southeast, and northeast, as you can see. So this is a really simple model of the wind vane, and it kind of works perfectly. So that was all about it. So now let us come to the question that how does the wind vane work? So basically what happens is that if we take this example of a wind vane, then in a real wind vane, what happens that the direction from which the wind blows, the tail of the wind vane catches the wind. Why? Because in a normal wind vane, the tail is bigger than the pointer of a wind vane. That means the tail will catch the wind, and whenever the tail catches the wind, it adjusts towards the direction from which the wind is blowing to, not from. The pointer detects the direction from which the wind is blowing from. So what happens is that, to understand once more, the tail, it catches the wind, and whenever it catches the wind, it suppose this is the wind. So this is exactly what happens. It the tail adjusts to the direction from which the wind is blowing from, to, not from. The pointer detects from where the wind is blowing from. So to give an example, let me show that how it works. So suppose that the wind is blowing from southeast, okay, southeast here, and what happens is that when the wind is blowing from south east, see, the pointer is already in the direction of southeast. So if the wind comes from here, the pointer will detect that from where the wind is blowing from, southeast. So if we take another example, if the wind is blowing from west, yep, it's detecting west, kind of southwest, but yeah, that's how it works. Now I'm giving a last example. If the wind is blowing from southwest, then what happens is that, yep, that's how it works. This is exactly how it works, that the tail will receive the wind and the pointer will arrange itself from where the wind is blowing from. So this is exactly how the wind vane works. So we have got to know almost everything that we need to know about a wind vane. But there is one last thing left. You also need to know that what are the uses of a wind vane, or in other words, which are the places where a wind vane is used. So use number 1. Wind vanes are typically used at airports to indicate the direction of the wind to pilots and air traffic controllers. Number 2. Wind vanes are also used at chemical plants where there is risk of gaseous leakage. Number 3. Wind vanes are used as decorative additions to tall buildings. Number 4. Farmers use wind vanes to gather information about prevailing winds in order to know how to plant their crops and ensure proper pollination of their fields. Then number 5. Meteorologists use wind vanes to study and predict weather, or rather future weather patterns. Knowing the direction of the wind also helps forecasters to understand when a storm will reach a specific place. So these are the 5 uses of a wind vane. So that is all that you need to know about a wind vane, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all. Thank you ma'am for watching, and we'll meet in the next video. But till then, see ya.